Good evening. It is Tuesday. It is just past 8 o'clock. It is time for Mod Cons. Wonderful to be back. It's been a busy period. I've not been around. I feel like I've shirked responsibilities, as somebody put in one of the comments on the other videos, and yeah, quite rightly so. So, good evening, chaps. It's wonderful to see your faces.
Yeah, good to see you, Holly.
Good evening.
Excellent. So we will get to who is in the chat in a minute. But on the panel, as always, for Mod Cons, we have got Mr. Triangle Face Tim.
Hello, how you doing?
Very good, my friend. Are you keeping good?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less. It could be worse.
Yes, I could be turned into a walrus. So as long as that's not happening.
Exactly. Yeah. And Mr. Blunners, how are you doing?
Yeah, very good, very good. Just want to say, Mr. Mike Holton, you are a winner. You have been gifted a membership by myself, so I hope you enjoy that. You get access to my videos before they go live to anyone else. So, yeah.
Super duper. So we have got a few people in the chat, and as people will see from our title, we're going to be talking all things spooky. So yes, who have we got in the chat? We have got Mr. Dave Newland. Always wonderful to see you, my friend. I hope you are keeping good. Nick Craddock in the house. Love to see you, Mr. Nick. Rob Taylor, always wonderful to see you, my friend. Colin Brown, good evening. Picked Resi, but looking forward to finally getting into Silent Hill. I think I'm the only one that's voted for Silent Hill tonight. That's all right. Mike Holton, you are a winner, my friend. You are absolutely a winner. Cabbage Face, it's wonderful to see you, Bricks. Hope you are good. We have got lots of spooky shit to talk about, lots of fun things that we've got lined up. So let's get going with the first. Actually, before we go ahead with the first topic of what are you playing, anyone in the chat spot the inconsistency with the show this evening? If someone can spot the inconsistency with the show this evening and tell us what that is, you can win an actual prize. If you can spot, you can. Everpants are coming. They are coming, hopefully in time for Christmas. If you could spot the inconsistency, get it in the chat, and you could win a copy of Injustice on PS4, because apparently I have 2 copies. Very good game for a DC fan. So, yeah, spot the inconsistency. And with that, let us dive into. No one has it yet. It's a good guess, but it's not the answer.
It could be Ryan.
It could be Ryan. Ryan always has a trouser accident on Mod Cons. So, what are you playing? Tim, what are you playing, my friend?
Playing at the moment, I'm playing Shadow Hearts on PS2.
Ooh.
Getting into October, so I'm going to play some sort of spooky games or horror games. I've not played it in a long time. I was like, I'm going to give it a go. So I've put it on my Steam Deck at the moment, and I'm playing through that. For anyone who's not played Shadow Hearts, it is a sort of turn-based RPG, quite similar to like a Final Fantasy. And the thing I quite like about it is there's when you do a battle, when you go to attack, there's like a ring that appears, and there's like a dart that goes around the ring, and there's 3 points you're going to try and hit. And if you hit all 3 of them, then you hit them 3 times. But if you miss any, then that's it. So you might only hit them once. And there's a thin slither next to it, which is like a critical hit. So you can try and get the critical hit, but if you miss it, then you might miss altogether. So it's whether you want to take the risk of trying to go for a critical or just hit them normally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite fun. And there's the main character confused with monsters. And there's this whole thing where he goes to a graveyard, which I think is like meant to be in his mind. You kind of go into the graveyard when you're in a save point, you can access the graveyard. And in there, you would fight creatures that you previously killed, and then you can like fuse with them, and you can turn into that creature in a fight, which is quite cool. And every now and then, you need to go and reduce a thing that's called malice. So you have every time you kill a creature, your malice goes up, and then eventually you need to go to the graveyard and quiet the malice. So all of that's quite cool. It's quite a nice setting. The music's all quite spooky and weird. Like one of the first bits you go to is a town where everything seems a bit off. And it's not long before you think, okay, all these people are cannibals, and you're in a town full of cannibals that worship this like elder god, and then you get trapped in the town with a seal, and you have to fight off these demons to get out. So it's all quite a fun sort of horror game. So I thought it was very apt for what I was looking for. However, I have found, I posted this in the RGR Facebook group, some people might have seen it already. Some of the dialogue is a bit problematic. Oh, this hasn't aged well. I don't know if this is an attempt at humour or what. But there's a few times where there is a female character who is unconscious, and the main hero character makes comments about perhaps wanting to do something while they're asleep, and then they wake up.
What?
And yeah, I'm like, did that happen? And like a bit later, where other characters just really lecturous. Like I can remember, so there's a girl that you rescue, and I can remember when I used to play it that I do remember the main character was quite like, you know, flirty with them a lot and quite lecherous, and she wasn't interested. I thought it like kept on making these advances and she'd shoot them down. Going back and playing it now, some of the dialogue is really bad. I'm like, did he say, like, he's meant to be the hero of the story, and he's giving off some rapey vibes. It's not good. It's not good at all. There's another bit. Again, it turns out they were talking about wanting to eat them because they end up being cannibals. There's just one bit where you're talking to these two kids. They turned out to not be kids. They're demons. But there's these two kids at this town that like open up the gate to let you in. And one goes, oh, there's a girl with them too. Ah, yes. And she looks juicy. Well, you want her to come in? I'm like, oh, the kids are pervs as well. What is going on with this game? But it turns out they wanted to eat her. Which is why they're keen to let her in. So yeah, it's it's a fun game. It's just I'm playing it, going, some of this dialogue's weird, man.
Yeah,
I don't know how this hasn't been talked about more. So
maybe we should.
If you've ever played Shadow Hearts, there is 3 of them. I've only played the first one, and I've gone back and revisited the first game.
The other 2 on PS2.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're all PS2 games.
I wonder if they get progressively more.
I don't know.
What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Inappropriate.
Problematic? Yeah.
Problematic.
Yeah. Inappropriate.
Problematic sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. I did post a thing on the RGR Facebook not long ago with some screenshots of some of the weird dialogue.
Yeah.
So you want to go there and check that if you want to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Excellent stuff. Yeah. Excellent stuff. Mr. Blunders, what have you been playing?
Right, so I played the other day. I've done a video on it, and that was Broforce.
Yep.
So, and it's a game. It's a little pixel art game. Like I've said it before, but it was Ryan's fault that he got me onto it. It's so good. It's so good, and it went down to under £2. It was like £2.50 or £2.30 something in the Steam sale. So it was like, it was crazy, like to have that much money off it. So yeah, that one is so good. Basically, it just takes a mic, and you turn into all these like different bros. So there's like RoboCop bro, and then there's Blade bro, and then there's like the crappiest one is the Matrix. Like the Matrix got a Neo bro, and he just like all his specialists is he literally slows down time and he punches. But it's all like pixel art, and you basically just got to go smash everything up, and then jump on the chopper and get away, and everything explodes around you, and the American flag goes off. So yeah, and then I've been playing that one, done a video on it because I'm really enjoying it. I'll just keep jumping in and out. I'm gonna do a stream some point with Ryan on it because I haven't played 2-player on it yet. I'm about 50% through, quite enjoying it. And the other one is last Friday the new Zelda game came out, so I've been playing that. So yeah, that it's basically back in like the cartoony style. It flips between like going around the open world, goes from that to being like sometimes you go into dungeon, but it's got classic dungeons back, so you get in dungeons, and you can sometimes they go 2D as well, like certain areas in each dungeon. The boss battles are brilliant, but it's just a bit odd because Link's been captured. You've only got like a little power that you can turn into him for a short time, like a battle one. Other than that, you're just using like your magic wand thing to like just bring up new characters. So every time you beat a character, you can copy their ability. So then, to say like I got like these mobkins that like, had swords, I could then throw out 2 of these, and then they would go and kill everything for me. And it's like I've just done this boss that was like I managed to get this shark. So I obviously was underwater, so it kind of used the shark, and you have to like keep spawning it, but you can't actually hit anything yourself. You like, if you do, you turn into like Link quick. The bar runs out, and you just come back to who you are.
Okay.
So you find yourself like really trying to like not use it as much as you can, but it's its dungeons are back. It's got a little thing kind of like Tears of the Kingdom where you can like hold and move things about. It's just when you get out into the open world, sometimes it's like you can see like it's chugging,
Yeah.
and that's a bit like what the fuck? It hasn't like. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's really hard to explain. It's like I know they had issues in their remake that they done, and and they've used the same engine. And I find sometimes when you're out in the open world, it starts to like jitter a little bit as it's like it's not like real smooth like it should be. It was a lot. That was handheld, but when I played it docked, I was playing it docked last night. It wasn't as bad. It did seem all right, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's and then I'm torn. Well, I know I'm not torn now. I'm gonna pick up Silent Hill because where Assassin's Creed has now been delayed until next year. So yeah, I'll pick up Silent Hill. I'll pick up Silent maybe at the middle of maybe next week. Yeah,
You won't be disappointed.
that's what I've been playing at the minute.
Beautiful. So I have a lovely stack of games here. I've fallen back into my old habit last month. But that being said, I have finished Stellar Blade. Really bloody good is the best way to describe this game. It's pretty. It's got a really cool battle system. It's got a really cool mechanic in it with regards to your character and all the various things you can do. The story is just straight up batshit mad sci-fi. This is great. This is a really, really good game, and I'm really pleased that it's done well because I think this is this studio from Korea's first game. And with studios closing left, right, and center, this is an absolute must. I did think it wouldn't be as long or as engaging. I thought this was just going to be a bit of a hack and slash, run around for 10, 12 hours and get a hit, and then 58 hours later, it consumed my life for a little bit, which I was like, I was only after a short game, and then ended up having a massively long one. The next set of games I haven't played yet, but I've picked up because prices were good, or that's it really. Prices were good. I've been wanting this for a little while. I've had a real hankering to play the Dead Island games again, but I know you could get them both on a collection. So I've got the Dead Island collection for PS4. That's got Dead Island, Riptide, and then the Retro Revenge as well, which is, I think, like a side-scrolling beat 'em up type game. You just beat zombies. So looking forward to getting into that. This has been on my list for a little while. Again, it's like a Japanese horror type game, and that's White Day. I know there's a sequel coming out very soon. I don't have any expectations other than I've seen a few people talk about it, say it's great fun. So it's been on my list for a while. There was a good price on that.
Never heard of that one.
It's intriguing. This next one I am really excited to play. And that is, I think it's pronounced Ikai, or Ikai. Again, another Japanese inspired type horror game. There's, from what I can gather, there's no fighting. So again, it's a bit like Outlast. You just have to survive, hide, get to the ends of the levels. People have said it can get a bit boring because it's all set in a very similar place. It's in like a traditional Japanese home with all the paper sliding doors. But again, a lot of people have said this is really, really cool. So very, very excited to try that. We're getting there. I promise you. We're getting to the good stuff. Hitman World of Assassinations. Hitman 1, 2, and 3 of the redos on one collection. Absolutely excited to play this. Haven't played any of the 3 Hitman games that have come out for this current and the previous generation. So yeah, dead excited to have that on one system. Yes, I have. I've only played the first 2 though. Trying to pick up the 3rd game on PS2 is a no-go for me now. So it'll be an emulation game for me, I'm afraid. But yes, do like the Project Zero games. Next one is one that you have said is incredible, Blunners. So again, really looking forward to trying this, and that is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's brilliant. So good.
Yeah, I think this is
Jet Set Radio, yeah.
Absolutely. It looks so good, so much fun. Yeah, I will absolutely enjoy the hell out of this. So yeah, can't wait to give that a go. Oh mate, Mike Holton, if you've got a copy of Project Zero 3, that's an expensive one. 2 and 3 are expensive. 1 is still pricey, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's unaffordable. but totally not worth the value. It's a good game, but it's not worth the sort of 30-40 quid price tag it seems to be getting now. And then the game that is now going to consume me for a little while, which I picked up this morning, Silent Hill 2 remake. Really was concerned a few months back. I think a lot of people were concerned a few months back about whether this was actually going to be any good, whether it was going to be just, I don't know. I don't think people really knew what it was going to be. Then the embargo lifted tail end of last week, and the reviews were, no, it's pretty good. Some people saying it's really good. Some people just saying it's okay. It's it's solid. For me, it's everything I've wanted it to be so far in terms of expanding the story. I'm just shy of 6 hours in. I am trying to take my time and just enjoy the atmosphere and the universe and the little areas of expansion so far. And I've only made it to the Blue Side Hill apartments, which is in the other world. So that's normally you're about halfway through the game now, 6 hours in. This, I reckon, I'm about a quarter. So yeah, potential to have a good sort of 20-hour campaign, which is amazing. Oh yeah, I'm just so pleased it's not crap. I was prepared for it to be okay, and I would have been fine with that. But the fact that it is actually really good, yeah, I'm really pleased. Really pleased. A little bit emotional playing that today when I loaded it up and it started working, and you're walking into the town, and you're like, ah, man, this is what Silent Hill has always meant to look like.
Did they have a big day one patch, or was it not too bad?
Not particularly. It had a patch. Everything has a patch now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it always does.
So
Yeah.
I think it had like a 6 gig or a 7 gig patch, which was absolutely fine. I mean, I've not noticed any issues with it. I don't know what the patch would be. Oh, it's not a remaster, dude. It's a full remake. A full remake. Like Resident Evil 2 style remake, where they've expanded the story, they've expanded the characters, they've remodeled everything. It's running on Unreal 5. And Christ, can you tell it's on Unreal 5? It's
about 50 quid, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, yes, it's full price.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. If you want a good-looking game to show off what the PS5 can do, this I would say is up there. The fog actually looks like fog now, and not just graphical limitations.
Blocks.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and bloody crows.
It is something special. Something special. Looking forward to just plowing on with it and seeing what happens next. Oh, exciting times. Right. Let's dive into the next topic for this evening, which is, what is your go-to spooky game or spooky season game? Sorry. So let's go to Blunners first this time round. What is your go-to spooky season game? Do you have a game that you'd like going back to?
Yeah, so like you were saying, I think Dave Newland's commented on mine. It's Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Space is PSN Plus this month. So guys, get on it. I've said a few times before, back in the day, I used to sit on my subwoofer on my old school surround sound, all the wires everywhere. And I would sit on the subwoofer in my room when I was playing Dead Space. Didn't know anything about the game. Just knew it was a bit scary, and yeah, I just shit myself. Especially when someone running around, and obviously the whole room was shaking from the sub. So yeah, it was like that was pinnacle scary scary move. Like it was literally so good. I got so into the lore, got really into everything about it. They brought out some manga films and stuff on it. They brought out books. I read it all. They brought out the comics. I read them as well. So yeah, I got right into it. So and I just remember it's I'll say the series in a whole, but I think it's in either 2 or 3. I'm not 100% sure, when you have to press down and put this needle thing through your eyeball. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that is some scary shit. But
man, Dead Space is great.
Yeah, what I loved about it is when you could just cut the limbs. So as they're coming at you, you can just shoot their limbs off, and they then start scurrying across the floor and that. But it's such a great game. And like I say, once you get right into the story and how everything about it does. It just sucks you in.
Yeah, it's always striking me it strikes me how good the lore actually is. It's very cool. It's not just, you know, monsters in space. There is
Yeah.
there's that sort of it's almost like a folk horror movie when you get things like Midsummer or The Wicker Man, because it's all based around like a cult, but the cult just happens to be in space in the future, and it's really messed up. But it's no more different, I think, than to something like Wicker Man, but it's just bit alien-esque. Dead Space, Tim, is that on your list of games that are
No, I do like the Dead Space games. I've only played the first one, a bit of the second one. So is there 3 altogether? And then they did all the remakes and remasters. I was quite late to the party, so I think it was on Dead Space 1 and 2. I think were on Games with Gold. I think at one point.
They had some games on Games with Gold that were worth playing.
I think so, unless I might be mistaken. But I remember getting them through the Xbox somehow, and I didn't pay for them. So I played that, but then I think I only played them when they came out free on there. So when the remasters and the remakes came out, I'd only just played it, so I didn't jump in on those.
Dude, definitely jump on that remake while it's on PS Plus. It's again.
So is it the remake that's on PS Plus? Is it?
Yeah, the remake.
That's quite a quick turnaround. It's not that long ago been out, was it?
2 years.
Is it?
Came out about last January, I think.
January, wasn't it? Yeah.
Hey, maybe it is time now for me to play the remake.
It's great.
It's brilliant. It's good. It's great. Good. Yeah, I replayed it. It's just how it's like they just start like they can't control themselves, and that's when they start going nuts. Then
it reminds me of as well. It reminds me a bit of Event Horizon, which is like one of my favorite horror films. I love Event Horizon. Absolutely brilliant film. And it just gives me Event Horizon vibes when you walk around the ship.
100%. I might watch that tonight. You saying that? I love that
film. I could watch that film many times. I do really like Event Horizon.
Oh, dude, Dead Space! What a pick! What a pick! Dead Space 2 was great as well.
It was great.
The franchise as a whole is solid because 3 kind of lets it down a little bit.
Is that when EA got involved too?
Yeah,
right? I'm sure 1 wasn't EA, was it?
Let's have a look.
And they got their dirty little mitts on it.
Do I have Dead Space?
That was
sure it's down here somewhere.
But luckily, it was before the time of loot boxes and paying for everything that you do. But
yeah. There's a lot of good titles coming up in the chat. Got things like Outlast,
Evil Within's great.
Evil Within is cracking. Really, really good. Infamous Festival of Blood, House of the Dead on the Dreamcast. Yeah, there's some great titles that people are pulling out. Tim, do you have a spooky season game that you'd like to go back to?
I think if I'm going to go back to a spooky game, the one I like to revisit, because I've played it several times now, is Resident Evil 7 in VR. Just because it's quite a short experience, so you can complete it fairly quickly. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're doing a big undertaking of like a really long campaign. And I love the story. I love the characters. Just love the Bakers. When you have like Marguerite and Jack, and what's the name of the son? Can't remember what the guy's name is. Now, but the one that sets all the BB traps and stuff. And it's one of those games where I think it was one of the first proper games I got in VR when I first got my VR headset, and it was genuinely terrifying to play when I first went to go play it, and I kind of just had to power through. And then I think I just got desensitized to it after a while because I knew where everything was. There was less jump scares, but nothing beats that first playthrough if you're doing it in VR, because you just don't know what's next. Because actually, there's quite a few sections where there's no enemies and you're just walking through to get to the next area. But the first time you play it, you don't know that there's not any enemies there. So you're like, why is it so quiet? Why is nothing trying to kill me right now? And then you know that eventually something's going to come out. I think at one point there's no enemies for ages. And after a really long time, this ball just falls down and bounces and rolls along the floor. And that's it. And then it's like, what is this game doing to me? And then eventually, like, you're trying to make your way out. Oh, yeah, thank you, Dave Newton said it's Lucas.
Lucas.
The name of the other guy. And then I got all the DLC for it as well. There's some cool DLC. There's like a horde mode you can do when you're trying to survive in the basement, and you can like build weapons between waves. And there was a escape room thing where you're in the bedroom and Marguerite keeps on coming up to check on you. And you have to make sure you're back in the bed with the restraints back on before she comes in the room. And then there's another one where you're playing like card games and stuff, and if you lose a round, you get a finger chopped off, and you're there with like your hands out, and every time you get something wrong, it like chops off one of your fingers.
Ooh,
Yeah, there's some
brutal.
And then I think the last one was the only thing I didn't do. Actually, I did everything in the game, got all the achievements apart from completing a mode called Ethan Must Die, and it was just too hard. I tried and tried and tried, but you just get owned in that mode. It's just really hard.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was when Resident Evil really came back, real hard. And it was the prelude to all of the remakes as well, which has done them really well. Because Resident Evil 5 and 6 are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not Resident Evil. So to have a genuinely scary Resi game again was pretty cool.
There's really nice differences when you played it on Madhouse difficulty as well. So when you play on Madhouse, you go back to having cassette tapes to save. So you can't just save it wherever. And they've just moved a few things around and made it slightly harder. But it was just, good experience going back and playing on Madhouse. And then every now and then, just some things change. Like, I wasn't expecting that. I'm now going to be on guard. So very, very cleverly done.
Super duper.
What's yours then?
I'm not going to say Silent Hill 2 on the PS2 because that would be my answer. It's one of the games that I can play and have played many, many times. I never get bored of it, even when I know exactly where everything is, and you can just effectively run through the game. It's just something about it which is really intoxicating. But there are two other games that I would pick. One I don't really see that many people talk about, and I do wonder why. And that is the Blair Witch on PS4. I really like the Blair Witch as a franchise. It should never really have been a franchise. It should have just been one film. But Hollywood doing what they do. So that movie is that game. Sorry, is really, really cool. It's deceivingly scary, and it really plays into the Blair Witch lore quite well. It expands it in a really interesting way, which makes the game mechanic. It makes it have a type of battle system, I guess. If you want a really spooky game that just constantly makes you question what the hell is going on, Blair Witch on PS4, really, really enjoyable. And the other one that I will mention, which would lead us neatly into another topic before we do something that Blunders has devised with a trick or treat game. My other go-to horror game is Alien Isolation. That game is a religious experience if you are an Alien fan. It's the Alien movie that none of us got, and I'm quite pleased that we didn't get it, because effectively we wouldn't have had that game if we did. It still looks phenomenal now, I think, and it is a sort of mid-generation PS4 game. Oh yes, I have the Super Duper set on pre-order from Second Sight, because I have a few Second Sight things up there. They sell out, and but yes, fantastic set if you've got it on order. It's got to be done. But yeah, Alien Isolation still holds up today. I think it's still scary. It's still hard. I would like to go through it and try and get the platinum at some point. But that does mean completing it on hard mode, which is hard. So, yeah. You're going to say something then, Mr. Tim?
I was just going to chuck one other game out there that's not been mentioned that's quite good. It was Parasite Eve. If you ever played that.
Yeah,
I haven't played that.
First one not played for a really long time, and I had to buy a backup copy of it because I don't think we got it in Europe.
No, it is I'm thinking it was a Square Enix or Squaresoft.
Yes.
Game. Yeah. Kind of like Final Fantasy meets Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the battle system. I'm trying to remember how it worked now, because again, it's a long time since I played it. You had a gun. I remember, wasn't it like it was almost real time, but then also turn based, and you had like a little area of effect where you could shoot things.
Yep.
That had Parasite Eve 1 and 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there was
really cool cutscenes as well.
There was a third one on the PSP called The Third Birthday. That was very cool as well.
Yes, I remember seeing trailers for that.
Really underrated game on the PSP. Really shows off what it can do. Parasite Eve, good shout there. Good shout.
Quite
I'll have to look
overlooked
it up.
because it's not quite, Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but it is quite a good extra franchise if you've played all of those already.
Indeedy. Mr. Dave Newland, you bring us quite neatly and nicely onto a topic that we were going to discuss, and that is Alien Isolation is getting a sequel. And I think everybody screamed about time. Like it's been such a long time since the original that I think people are begging for this game. I'm certainly begging for this game. I really can't believe, much like the Silent Hill 2 remake, I can't believe it's actually going to happen. Very, very excited for this. I don't know where the story's going to go. I really don't. Alien is in a good place at the moment. I think it's the franchise is in a very good place. The last Alien movie was good. There's a new TV series coming out that's meant to be pretty good. So things are looking up for Alien. Alien Isolation. You guys, you got to be happy about that.
Tim, do you want to go?
Yeah. No, do you know what? You're not going to like me for saying this. I'm sorry, but I haven't actually played Alien Isolation yet. It's on my back burner. It's on my backlog, so I've not played it yet.
Tim.
I was told to play Batman, so I was playing Batman.
I mean, yeah, fair point. And the Batman games are good. Have you got a copy, or is it on Game Pass?
I did have it installed on my Xbox because occasionally I play through games with my wife, and I'll play and she'll sort of watch, and she quite likes things like Resident Evil and that sort of thing, where because I'm controlling it, we want to play games where there's lots of things to figure out and think about. And I was like, oh, she quite likes horror games. She's like, should we try Alien Isolation? And we just never started it. So I was like, hey, do you fancy playing an Xbox game? She's like, no. So not played it yet. But that was my pitch for the next game, but we've not done it yet. I will eventually get to it, but I've got such a backlog of games at the moment. To be honest, speaking of Batman, I'm thinking I might skip to the end of Arkham Asylum and just go straight to Arkham City now, because I'm not getting very far very quick. So.
Okay. I mean, the quicker you do that, the quicker you can play Alien Isolation, I guess.
Yeah.
You will. I think you will enjoy it. It is difficult. Enhance that experience.
I was thinking as well, they need somebody to do a mod of Batman Arkham. So I don't know why I find it funny, but when you run as Batman, he has like the old school like Adam West Batman run. And I just think, like, if you like just the way he's running, he looks like they're running from the original Batman. Imagine Batman Arkham, don't touch anything other than when you're running, it plays the original like Batman theme song.
Yeah.
So, your 5 people said you start running, Batman. So he runs around. Somebody go make that mod, and I'll play that version of it, because I think that'd just be hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't. Every time I run on Batman, I just get that song in my head. It's like, I don't know. It's just because it's the old school Batman run. He just looks weird running.
I think to go back to Dave Newland's comment about playing the Benny Hill theme when the alien chases you, I think that would be one way to try and make it less scary, but I still don't think it would make it less terrifying. I think you chuckle and then remember that the alien is chasing you and continue to shit your pants. It's a really clever AI system. There's some great videos online where people have hacked the game and can kind of see how the alien interacts with you, and it does adapt to your play style based on where you are, how long you've been in an area for, and it has cycles, but those cycles are so sporadic and random that it makes it difficult or impossible to predict where the alien is going to be. So if you're going to speed run the game, that's fine. There are people that speed run it, but I don't think there's any 100% consistency with where the alien turns up, other than the first time you see it. So it is genuinely terrifying. Genuinely
Yeah.
terrifying.
I love it. I'm
Definitely-
saying
definitely
it's
good.
so good, and like you're saying, that's 10 years old, man. So yeah, so I just shit myself first time I played. I couldn't really get through it at first. It was just so annoying because like you just hide in and then you just get caught, and I was just doing one. It was just doing my head in. But
Yeah.
also I think David's just on here. The VR game looks unbelievable as well. The new one that's coming out. It's even got the
Yeah.
sensor and like the scan that what I mean when it's cloning and so good. So yeah, so I'm all for it. I really hope. Like you said, I'm a bit confused. I think where else can they go with this new game? So
Mhm.
but as long as they keep that, like if they've just redone like enhanced that engine, and yeah, there's only. Do you know what I mean it can only make it better? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if they just make, I mean, they've had 10 years to I guess put an idea together. So hopefully this isn't them just randomly going, now, do you know what? Yeah, let's make a game really quick. As long as you've got like a good talent writing the game and everything still fits within the Alien universe, it's going to be fantastic. They could build off of some of the new bits that have been brought up in Alien Romulus, which I guess is still a new movie. So I don't want to ruin some of those bits in there for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. But there are some really cool new additions to the Alien lore in Alien Romulus. So yeah,
That comes the end of the month, I think.
Yes, I think
anytime now.
yeah, 2nd of December, I think it comes out on physical. So, but it might come to Disney Plus a bit earlier.
It's digital's coming early, I think.
Yeah, great movie. Like
I
almost
enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
is almost perfect. Almost perfect.
almost.
Almost. Couple of
It's
bits
not.
where
Yeah,
I went,
but he's the guy. Oh, I forget his name. He played the character so well.
The droid,
Yes,
Andy.
he was phenomenal.
Yeah,
he was
he was amazing.
mate. His part is what makes the film for me.
Yeah,
The way he played him, brilliant. Yeah, I loved it.
It was just really cool seeing a young cast, like genuinely a young cast. They're all just 20-something-year-olds. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Some great ideas in there. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. I mean, there's a once my room is finally sorted out, it's still higgledy piggledy in here.
Got the face hugger behind you.
Yeah, that's a cuddly one as well. It's all plushy, but it's got bendable fingers, so you can put it on your head and.
No,
Yeah, Alien.
That's the one thing like that craps me up. Like I can sleep for anything. If my missus goes like that with over my face, I jump.
Yeah,
and that's because of watching Catching Aliens when I was younger and seeing the face hugger.
It's the most vile thing, isn't it? To think about
what
having
great,
something,
yeah.
having something mouth rape you and lay an egg in your chest.
There's quite a cool game. I don't know if you ever played the card games Legendary. I've got Marvel Legendary, which is quite good. A friend of mine had the Alien Legendary, and you actually play through the stories of the films.
Yeah,
and you basically like it's like a deck building game. So you have all the different characters and stuff, and you can like buy additional cards, and then you can have, if you reveal a face hugger, it goes on to one of your characters. And if you don't get rid of it before it gets to the end of this trail, then you get killed off. So you can actually die in the game, and then the rest of the team have to like continue without you.
Yeah.
It's quite a cool mechanic. You get the face hugger on. You've got to try and. I think there's like eggs, and if you turn one of the eggs over, like you can get a face hugger on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite games. Quite difficult as well. Quite hard for a card game as well. You expect a lot of like card games to actually be quite straightforward, but it's quite a hard one to beat.
Excellent. Okie dokie. Any more thoughts for Alien Isolation before we dive into Blunner's Trick or Treat games?
Well, maybe I'll play the first one when this new one comes out, and in 10 years I'll play this one.
10 years
when it goes on PS
I'll
Plus
play
Plus.
it in 10 years. Yeah, I'll play it on PlayStation Plus Plus on my PS7.
On your
I'll have a go.
PS7, yeah.
If we're still doing this podcast in 10 years, then you can, call me up and be like, have you played it now? It's been 10 years.
Someone clip this bit now. We'll
Clip
play
this
it in
bit,
10 years and we'll see where we're at. Yeah, it's a shame we can't do some sort of charity stream where we could just get together all in one room and just stream Alien Isolation.
I don't think Ryan will be able to handle it.
He would have to.
He
He's been in a
can't
room with
handle
us.
any. Yeah, but he can't handle anything like scary at all.
Well, we'll just
Like,
tell him it's
I
not
mean-
scary.
It's like shit. It's like, yeah, what, Alien in the title? It's like,
Yeah. We'll tell him it's objectively not scary, and not tell him that we've all crapped our pants playing it. Yeah, genuinely
Do we want
fantastic.
just a thought? No one's guessed the inconsistency yet. Do we want to give them a clue?
Yeah, I don't know what the clue could be without giving the answer away.
Yes, without giving it away.
It's something to do with
sequence of events.
Yeah, the sequence of shows. That's about. I think
Scheduling. Yeah.
that's about as far as we could go. So riddle me this. I'm not wearing a tutu. I am wearing my sporting my Texas Chainsaw Massacre t-shirt for our all spooky season. Okie dokie. It's nothing to do with the background either. Nothing to do with the backgrounds or
Everyone's
where
saying about the
we're.
white on the NES pad there.
Yeah, nothing to do with the backgrounds. Nothing to do with where we are on the placement of the screen.
I think David Newland's got it.
He's getting there. Getting there for sure. That's ticking a box. Right. What are we going to do with? Let's start with the first one. So Blunners has thrown us in with. We're going to pick a trick game and a treat game. Go on, hit us with the theme of trick.
Hang on, David Newland's got it.
You got it.
So yeah,
Mr. Newland, fantastic. There you go. You are a winner.
Nick C did say, you're on the wrong week, but Dave Newland did say, it should be Timmy's Tanks first, and then he said specifically, this should be uncensored.
Nick,
So
I'll find you. I will find you a prize. It might not be a good one, but I'll find you a prize for getting in the ballpark. Dave Newland, ping me your address, buddy. I'll send you Injustice on the PS4. I will find. In fact, I can see what I could send you, Mr. Craddock. It's dreadful, absolutely. Well, actually, it's 50%
television too. Television too.
It's not. It's not. I'll we'll do the trick and treat game, and then I'll show Mr. Nick Craddock what I can send him as well. So hit us with the idea of what the trick game is.
So we was saying, as it's come up to Halloween, I was thinking, how could we get some sort of theme going? So trick game. This is a game that sounds good, but is absolutely horrendous. So each one on the panel can pick a game and think about, like, what game would you suggest sounds really good, but when you actually played it, was absolute garbage that you just wanted your money back. So yeah, that is. So what kind of trick game? Get your trick games in as well in the chat. I can start if you want.
Yeah,
go for it.
So, as I'm a massive Nintendo fan, and trick game for me would be Link: The Faces of Evil on the Philips CDI. So you look at it; it looks like a Zelda game. It looks like it's going to be great. You get home, you play it. It's absolute shite. So it's nothing to do with the lore, nothing to do with how you play any of the Zelda games before. It's just an app. It's just Philips using Nintendo's license. So yeah, for me, a trick game which completely tricked me was Zelda. Link: The Faces of Evil on the Philips CDI. What is it?
That's the same console that has Mario Hotel on it, which is also pretty poor.
Pants, yeah.
Okay.
That's another one. E.T. Yeah, on behalf of the American desert.
I am gonna see
any Halo game. What?
That's a bit hard.
No way, Cabbage Chase.
No.
Any Halo game, mate.
I
love
don't be that
number
guy.
1 too.
I'm going to quickly see if the game I'm going to pick is on the shelf, which will give Tim some time to start
Oh,
pitching his.
Metal
2
Gear
seconds.
Acid.
I'm a bit stuck on this one, but I think I was trying to think of a better answer, but I've got my kind of backup answer if I didn't have time. So I'm going to go with Sonic Superstars, just because that is a recent purchase. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Because I kind of forgot that it existed. But yeah, I had.
You forgot you had it, didn't you?
I forgot I had it. Well, I was like, I want to get Sonic and I want to get Mario. And I was very fortunate to be able to get both for my birthday. So I started off with Mario Wonder because you guys were both playing it, saying how great it was, and I played through all of that, really enjoyed it. I said, right, I finished Mario now. Now I'm going to play Sonic Superstars, and I just did not enjoy it. I was like, maybe I'm missing the trick. Maybe this game is more enjoyable with 4 people. And I'll tell you, I've literally done 1 level as 4-player, and then it went off. And I've not touched it since because it was literally just everyone runs off and it goes split screen. You don't know what's going on, and yeah, it wasn't good. I was around my sister's house and I played it with my niece and nephew, and there was 4 of us playing. We did 1 level, and then the kids wanted to play something else, so it didn't even engage like the 10-year-olds to carry on playing. They're like, "No, this is rubbish too." So I was like, "No, it wasn't good." I kind of feel like I need to go back and try it again though. And play it because I do like Sonic games, and maybe I've just judged you too harshly. But based on the experience I had, I was like, no, can't be bothered. I've got one other one actually. I can't remember what it's called. It was a game I bought. I took it back and got my money back because it's just so bad. I was really I really wanted to get more like on-rail shooters for the Wii because I really like the House of the Dead games, and there's like one other scrolling shooter game on it. And I was like, right, there's got to be more games like this on the Wii. I can't remember what it's called, but it's one of those really old school ones where it's like a video and like it's actually actors that like when they get shot, they just go, oh, like that on the screen. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a Western theme. And it was just dreadful. It was so bad. Like as soon as you got killed, it would stop and then it would cut to a cutscene of like a guy building a coffin. And be like, oh, we need another one of these. And he's like tapping this coffin. And then it would go back. And the loading times are terrible. It was bad acting. I've got to try and look at it. It was cool. But I just took it back to the shop. I was like, no. it was terrible.
McGraw, is that it?
Yeah. Let me have a look. I'm going to Google McGraw. McGraw.
Wow.
Let me have a look.
Yeah. Dreamcast sold a light gun for 3 games. Yeah, I had that gun as well, Nick. Literally just for House of the Dead.
Yeah, I can't actually see. For some reason, the search for McGraw is coming up with a dance game, a country western dancing game by the looks of it. But that's not the one I'm looking for. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's just search for Western shooter on Wii. It's like an arcade port. I think it was an arcade port. No, it wasn't Red Steel. That's a good game.
Describing Halo.
I'm not cabbage face. No.
How can you hate
How
Halo?
dare you? How very dare you?
Halo's borderlining an institution.
While you're doing yours, Ollie, I might look for McGee, not McGaw. Okay, Western McGee.
Okay.
It's McGee.
I suppose I better make another one of these.
Oh yeah, Mad Dog McCree. I think it is.
You got it.
Now, I will show you this screenshot of the game. Hang on, let me just open it up full screen.
So hang on, did you take this back to get your money back from the
store?
I
took it back. I took it back to the shop and got my money back.
I'm not happy with this.
Let me
what did you say then? Just that it was crap, or did you just say it was broken or something?
I remember I just said it wasn't very good. I think they said, "Oh, you can't just bring it back." It wasn't a game shop. I think for some reason I got it in like a Tesco or something. And they're like, "Oh, you can't just like bring it back because you don't think it's very good." And I was like, "Well, it's not like a movie where I've like watched it back. I played it for like 2 minutes and they want it." And they're like, "Oh, they gave me a refund." Now, let me just quickly present my screen. I do share screen.
I just got pictures of you trying to take this game back to him.
Yeah, I feel like
the screenshot of the game.
Oh wow!
It's literally like a
how much is it?
Pictures of it. Oh, I don't know how much it is now.
Oh, it's got to be. It's going to be one of those games that's like £1,000 now, isn't it?
Remember, it's in like the old. Yeah, that was the box art gunslinger pack. Yeah, that's what the characters look like. It's just like old VHS footage. And oh dear, it was It was poor, and the loading times are terrible. I really want to find the shot of like the man
Go
who's
back
digging
up.
your
Go back just for the cover,
yeah.
and it's
This one
just
here.
Dave Newland saying, "Is that Trey Parker?"
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It
Does
could
look like
be.
a bit. It's not letting me open
Get
it.
out. Get out of my Western, buddy.
Yeah, that sums up what the game was like. That's a perfect picture of
Oh, I
it.
wanna-
Like
Tim,
they
try
would
and
stand
find the
up.
video. Try and find a video on it when the bit when you die.
Okay, I'll come back. I'll find the death video and I will.
amazing.
I'll let you know.
Amazing.
Come back to me.
Right. My game. I think on the side of it, I thought it was probably going to be bad, but I really hoped it was going to be good. It's a game called Evil Inside, and it was quite early on in the PS5's life cycle, maybe a couple of months, maybe 6 months into it. There was a game that came out, and it basically said that they were going to be redoing PT, the playable trailer for Silent Hills, the infamous game that just never came out, and they were going to be making that into a game. And I thought that's a really good idea. Why not expand it, make something different, change the character names, change the colors of the walls, and there you go. You've got a game. Why not? And I was on a real downer because there was no Silent Hill stuff coming out. PT had been, or Silent Hills had been cancelled, so it was just this real low point for me. Thinking, you know what, I'm gonna put a little bit of hope on this game. It was 25 quid from an indie studio. I reckon you could use that game to torture people with in Guantanamo Bay. It's just awful. It is so bad. Yeah, there's nothing redeeming about it. Graphically, it looks horrific. It looks like
PS5. Is it?
Yeah. Graphically, it looks like it belongs on like the early PS3, if not possibly the end of the PS2's life cycle. The story is just pap. The jump scares are not particularly jumpy or scary. Oh god! If anybody wants to see what the game's like, just watch a playthrough on YouTube. Pretty sure you can complete it in like an hour. The only good thing that came out of it was completing the game in one sitting gave you a platinum trophy. It's awful. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Are you ready? You ready for me to play this now?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Oh, I can't hear it.
There's no sound.
Is there no sound? I said
No.
do sound. Hang on, let me
Did
try.
it open up another page?
Don't think so. Let me just remove that. Right,
So hang on, this is on the Wii.
Yeah, well, it was an arcade game, I think, and they did a Wii port.
You said they were the Wiimote. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got also share system audio. Yeah. Don't know why to do that. Anyway, let's go back to this.
There you go.
So it says they must have filmed every eventuality if we get hit or not. Look, like that's some loading times as well.
Oh my god!
Right, I've got to find a bit. These are all the different various death teams, I think. Do you reckon it's one of these ones now which is like shot up in price? It's really hard to get.
I'm going to look it up on eBay now.
Right, I need to go to the bit I remember, which was the bit with there we go.
This was a good man you shot. Population 64.
Swear this was a level on Halo 3.
You did good. But it looks like you're going to pull through.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
That was a good woman you shot.
What the fuck is going on?
64.
Oh,
50.
Mad Dog. Mad Dog McCree on eBay, £13. I think that is going to be
£13.
£13 very
Well,
well spent.
Well
There
spent.
you go.
Yeah.
Oh my
no.
god, there's
It's
one
just,
for 12 or make an offer. Oh, I'm
it was
gonna
just
watch
the
that.
slowness, because like you'd see from there, they would go to shoot, and then the game would like pause, and then it would fire, and if you
Only
hit them in
Tim
time,
would
they would
buy
go, ugh. Yeah, only Tim would buy. It looks good on the box art, Cabbage Face. Jeez, you seen that box art with Mad Dog McCree on the front? On the poster. Anyway,
So, all right. So we've done a trick game. It's only right we do a treat game. So this is a game that is actually good, but I've tried saying try and make it horror or scary related. This one because obviously it is spooky season. So I'll just go with mine. Mine was a game that actually caught me off guard because I remember playing this. I remember watching it's off a film. I remember watching it years ago and not thinking, like, didn't really know much about the film because I was only quite young at the time because it came out in 2002, and that is The Thing on
Oh,
PS2. What a game
what a
that
game.
was. So this game completely caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Absolutely fantastic. Proper treat game. That is for me. One that never played before, didn't know anything. Like, I knew it was a film, watched the film, quite enjoyed it, but didn't think the actual game would be any good. And the game was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if you
Yeah.
do. Have you played it? Have you two?
Yes, really good game. Really good. It does the film some real justice, and it just plays phenomenally. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Shouldn't have been as good as it was. No need for it to be, but it was.
Yeah, it was. It was really good.
I think my treat game, probably similarly because it did catch me off guard. And I kind of went into it with not high expectations, but I went into it with some good expectations. And that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that has come out on PS4 and PS5. From the same
Yeah.
studio that did the Friday the 13th online game, which again was absolutely fantastic. But I just thought, how is this going to work with Texas Chainsaw? Because it could kind of work with Jason because he's like stalking the campers, and all the campers have to work together to escape the level. So I thought, okay, so how is this going to work with Texas Chainsaw? Transpires it just does. It just works incredibly well. It's genuinely scary at times, especially if you pick to be a victim. And you've got to complete all the various tasks to get out of the level, and you can just hear that chainsaw revving behind you, and then you turn around, and then someone playing as Leatherface is just chasing after you to try and murder you. It's a genuinely good game. If you get a good team together as well, if you get a couple of people on your team who are trying to play it the way the game should be played, it's great. Really, really good team working, and the different classes can speak to each other as well. So if you're the bad guys, if you know that there are 3 people hiding in a particular room, you can say it over your speaker and just say, look, there's 3 people in this particular room, and you can all like converge on the room and try and take them out. And likewise, if you're a good guy, you can say where the bad guys are, and sometimes have somebody be like the hare and sort of run around trying to get their attention while everybody else is trying to complete all the tasks. Yeah, really good game. Really good game.
Nice one. What about you, Triangle Face? Have you found one?
Mine, I'm going to go for the Resident Evil 4 VR version they brought out on Oculus. I hadn't actually played Resident Evil 4 before I played that, so my first time playing through it was in VR. And I think the actual VR mechanics worked really well, which is, I find it really difficult to play like a VR game especially with something where you've got to react quickly. If the sensitivity of like picking the gun up from your holster, you have to be really precise. Or like if the reloading is difficult and things like that. But the Resident Evil 4 game got that really right. So you can just like let go of your gun and it'll automatically go into your holster. It won't like drop on the floor. And as long as you put your hand near enough the gun and grab, you'll just grab the gun and it's easy to reload. And it's satisfying because you still feel like you're doing it, but the game's not punishing you if you're not precise. And then if there's an enemy coming right at you and you want to grab your gun quick and then reload and fire, you can actually do it. And it's really atmospheric, just actually being in that space and then having the sound of like somebody heavy breathing behind you and turning around and seeing a zombie not too far away enough to shoot it in the head. It's really good VR experience. That one.
Excellent.
Oh.
Some excellent games. There's definitely a couple.
Eternal Darkness.
That was cool. I
Great
never got
game.
to finish it. Cloudy Mountain on Intellivision, one of Ryan's favourites. One of Ryan's favourites. I think it is. Yeah. He had his trouser accident earlier, and he's making himself feel better with a bit of Cloudy Mountain. There's so many good horror games. I'm just looking, and I think the last generation, certainly the PS4 generation, had some absolute killers. Look at things. We've got things like Until Dawn, Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake, Resident Evil Origins Collection, which was the GameCube version of Resident Evil 1 and 0. What else we got? This one doesn't really get talked about a great deal. World War Z, or Z, if you're a British person like us. It was an online team game where you just basically had to get to the next objective, kill a wave of zombies, move to the next objective. Really like straightforward premise, but the amount of zombies that were on screen at any one time was terrifying. So that was a really good.
I actually think the Left 4 Dead games were really good as well. That was a good party game. Good party game. We had like lots of people, people in the party playing it.
Yep, I really enjoyed Left 4 Dead. What else we got?
Well, Outlast.
All the Outlast games I think are fantastic. I have a real affinity for that first one though. That first one is genuinely spectacular. I've got Little Nightmares as well. Little Nightmares 2. There's so many, and most of my other games are all boxed away, but there's just so many good horror games. I'm just so glad that it's still a franchise, a genre that people love, because without it, I think gaming would be a bit sad. Right. Very, very quickly, let's look at the PS Plus games this month. There's some really good ones. What are we in?
Oh, yeah, we know that. Dead Space is one of them.
It is. I'm pretty sure WWE 2K24 is also.
That's
mad.
On there. That is. I've not had any of the WWE 2K games.
Go, what?
Because I only got it while we're on the stream. I've just added it to my console because I've not had any of the more recent ones. But to get 2024. It's like, well, that's a brilliant offer to get that one.
Yeah,
it's one of the most recent ones.
So you get WWE 2K24, the Dead Space remake, and this game, Doki Doki Literature Club. Do not let the imagery fool you. That game is very, very dark. It is really heavy, and yet it looks like a cutesy manga game about poetry. There's all sorts of themes of suicide. Characters do die in the game. It's really dark. Really, really dark. It's one of these games that you just look at and you just think, I have no idea what this game is going to be. And then you play it and it just completely takes you by surprise. So if you even have a whiff of interest in something like that, just stick it in your library and get to it eventually. Took me by massive surprise.
So the last WWE game that I got really into was actually WWE 2K13.
Oh wow, so that's a few years.
That was on the Xbox 360, and I absolutely loved that version of the game. I think they got so many things right. The thing I find difficult, I think it was 2K17 was on Game Pass or on Games with Gold ages ago, and it just wasn't great. So I really lost touch with the WWE games for years. So I'll come back and I'll give this one a try, because I used to be super into wrestling games, but now they have like one every year. It's like. I don't know. And I tried like the AEW game. Was it Fight Forever?
And
it was rubbish.
It's okay. It's all right, but it's No, I think Blows is right. Actually, it's rubbish. But I want
Isn't
to. I
it?
want to like
Rubbish.
it. So I'm like, no, it's
Same
not
here.
rubbish.
I want to. It's great.
It's not right. No, yeah, it's rubbish. It's just when I was playing the campaign, where it's like halfway through the matches, you have to be like, oh, are you going to go sightseeing or eat dinner? I'm like, what? It's like
No.
eat dinner. It's like you've eaten some sushi and your
Well,
stamina.
maybe
has
that
gone
was
up
your
by
trick
3
game.
points. I'm like, what?
That was your
What's
trick
this?
game, Triangle Face.
Yeah, probably should have been because you think it's going to be good. And you go,
Think it's
I
gonna
do
be
like
good,
the
but
actual
it's-
grapple system and stuff, and it's all right, but yeah, it just wasn't what I was looking for.
Shame. Right. Let me go grab.
PS1.
Let me go
PS1.
grab the system for 2 seconds, just so
Oh,
we
yeah.
can show it, and people
PS1.
go, "Ooh, 2 secs."
So, Ollie's going to be giving away his
Giveaway.
PlayStation 1 giveaway.
OG PlayStation. Very nice.
So, yes, this is courtesy of my friend Sam, who runs a clearance company, a home clearance company in Hampshire called Hey Clear. If you are looking to just have something completely removed from a house or anything that you just need to get rid of really quickly, fantastic service. So, a very nice example of a original PS1
Classic.
It's got all that lovely sounds that you just remember. It works, which is the main thing, but it's in lovely condition. And also we've got an analog controller, which again works, is in lovely condition. There's almost no scuffs on it at all, actually, which is fantastic for whoever wins this. Yeah. So this will be one of our giveaways. I do have a PS3 that I'm just cleaning up now, which we will also be giving away. And we also have a Wii. I think we've got a couple of Wiis to give away as well. So yeah, we are getting there with our giveaways this time.
Can we try and get a copy of Mad Dog McCree for the Wii?
Absolutely.
Game with it?
I need a
Gotta
copy
be
for
done.
me.
Yes,
We are
It's a
going to
Triangle
get
Face's Christmas present this year, isn't it?
Yeah. I now regret giving it back to Tesco. But hey.
So let's get my screen shared and we can spin the spinny wheel of names. And don't worry if you're not in the chat. I'll clip the show later, put it into the Facebook group, and then the winner can have their PS1. So thank you everyone that has entered. There's quite a lot of you, which is fantastic. So let's click the wheel and see who wins. Here we go. Good luck, everybody.
Oh, who's it going to be?
Mark Rutland. You are a winner, baby, Mr. Rutland. Congratulations. I will ping this over in the Facebook group, and we will get you to DM me a address. And yeah, congratulations. You have won a lovely example of a PS1.
Nice
Oh,
one.
that's fun. I like giving stuff away.
That's a lot of people as well.
That is a lot of people. That was a lot of people. Dave Newland, make sure you get in touch with me. I'll send you your copy of Injustice. And Mr. Nick Craddock for almost getting there. I picked this up at a car boot sale.
In television, please.
I was really annoyed. I was really annoyed when I got home. But it is a copy of Dead Island on the PS3.
Oh,
It's in pretty decent condition. The thing that sucks the most is when I got home, I realized that the cover art was printed as opposed to it being an actual game, and it's from one of those bastard ones when CEX reprint the thing. Look at
maybe
that.
you could write in there, Ollie. Sign it. Say to the lovely Craddock. Signed up.
I'll write some kind of ditty in there for sure. So, Mr. Nick Craddock, send me some details. I'll send you a bootleg box Dead Island, but with a actual working copy of the game inside it.
And
There
then
we
please
go.
post
Well,
it in
that's
our
the
group as
important
well,
part,
please.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please post it in the Facebook group for everyone to
Just
see.
to before we sign off, the results of the poll was 70% said Resident Evil and 30% said Silent Hill. So it's tough because I do love Silent Hill. Silent Hill is great, and I don't want to put it down on Silent Hill. But if I had a gun to my head and had to pick one of the two, I would pick Resident Evil.
That's fine.
Mostly just for the VR experience.
I'm just
7
glad that
onwards.
it wasn't just me.
It wasn't a washout, was it?
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't just.
It wasn't a complete wash. So
If
there
you
we go.
put Silent Hill up against a different franchise, then I may well be voting Silent Hill. It's a close second. It just doesn't look that impressive when you're a close second out of 2. But you know,
It doesn't. It doesn't. Right. Chaps, it's been absolutely wonderful. I've had a lot of fun. I love horror, so being able to talk about a lot of horror games has been who won? Yes, it was Mark Rutland, Mr. Gozzo. There was a lot of people that entered this one, so yeah, I was really, really pleased. Keep your eyes on the Facebook group. As I said, there will be a couple of Wii's, I think, and a PS3 will be going up as well for winning at some point. So yeah, lots of stuff to get in the in for the end of the year if we can. But yeah, chaps, it has been wonderful. It's always great to speak to you guys. Thank you everyone for joining along in the chat live, and thank you everyone for jumping over on Tuesdays as well. I know it's a different day, so it's wonderful to see so many people over on the Tuesday. We will get on the Mad Dog McCree at some
we'll
point.
do a hunt for that. Yeah, see what we can find.
If you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button because that does help us out a huge amount. Give that little like button a little cheeky thumbs up because that lets us know that you've been here. It also lets us know that you've all enjoyed the content as well. So yeah, get on all that good stuff. Keep throwing things in the comments below, some of your trick games, your treat games that you're playing at the moment, and some of your favorite spooky season games. There's been some great titles mentioned this evening, so yeah, I'll be going back through that and making a few notes because there was definitely a couple I'd not heard of before. So yeah, I will be doing that.
One quick one from me is on the 17th of October. We've got another evening with, and that is an evening with Simon Phipps. So I'll be posting that shortly, and then we can I'll post a link to that and put it in the Facebook group and everything else.
Got to be done.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
Yeah, that would be really good. That's a really good score, Tim, because his presentation that he gave at Knott's Video Game Expo was top tier.
Yeah, he's worked in a lot of games and been in the industry a really long time, so I'm sure he'll have lots of cool stuff to talk about. He's worked on a lot of the Harry Potter franchise games. He's worked on Black and Burnout, the Burnout games.
What game
well.
Black is?
Yeah,
Burnout. Wow.
Yeah, it's quite, and that's just to name a few. He's had quite a long career, so he's worked in all sorts of games and for many different studios as well. So yeah, be sure to check that out on the 17th.
Will do. Okay, well, all that's left to say is thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next week for TEP, which will be in the usual place at the usual time, and we will see you all very, very soon. So good evening, everyone.